Meeting to order, please. Call the roll.
Ross,
Here.
Hamilton,
Here.
Taylor. Here. Robinson.
Here.
Baxter.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Ginn.
Here.
And Height.
Present.
If everyone would stand for the pledge of the prayer by Councilman Hamilton.
We come together tonight to find solutions, to work together and to make things better for all of us, not just in this room, but out there in our neighborhoods. We're grateful for the opportunity to be here. We are thoughtful of those who protect us so that we can be here. And we are incredibly grateful for the guidance and the courage to do the right thing. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Man. So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded.
Ross. Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Ginn.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Mayor, we have one communication.
All right.
Move to accept and file.
Motion accept and file.
Second. Did you say we have one communication?
Yes.
I have two on mine.
I've only got one.
Well, this is April the 25th.
Second.
Motion accept and file on communications. And there's a second.
Second.
A second.
Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Ginn.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
Consent agenda? I don't want to pull. Does anybody have any other consent agenda need to pull? If not, I'll ask for approval.
Let's go. Move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion approved. Second. Did I hear one?
Say all in favor, say.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Appreciate it. Mr. Scott, let's go forward, please, sir.
BO 22-33, an ordinance providing for the levy of a 1/2 cent percent sales tax and use tax within the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, which shall only be levied until December 31st, 2027, and shall only be used to acquire, construct, repair, equip, and/or improve streets, sidewalks, and drainage structures and facilities for public safety departments, police, fire, and emergency service departments, and the Parks and Recreation Department, and for the acquisition of vehicles and/or equipment for public safety departments, and prescribing other matters pertaining thereto. First reading.
Move to suspend all readings.
Second.
Motion suspend and seconded.
Okay.
I want to, if you don't mind, let's take that and I'll come right back to some people I have that want to speak to it, okay? I would, yes, if you don't mind, please.
Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Ginn.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
If I can. If you want to go ahead and vote this, or can I bring them to the,
I want to hear from.
I would like to hear, I've got two people in the audience who'd like to speak for it. First is Mr. Stephen Hart. Mr. Hart, if you'd come forward, please.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
I want to speak first. My name is Stephen Hart, and I'm the homeowner association for Cypress Crossing East.
Mr. Hart,
of-
you might pull that microphone up just a closer to you, please. There you go, thank you. You got it.
You're a
Check,
tall.
check.
You're a tall guy.
I'm Stephen Hart. I'm the homeowner association president for Cypress Crossing East of North Little Rock off Highway 165. The first time that this half cent was, well, first before I get to that, I would like to thank Mayor Hardwick and my alderman from Ward 2, Alderman Taylor and Alderman Robinson, for their hard work and the things that they have done for our community and East North Little Rock. We see the improvements and we see the work that's being done, and I think that needs to continue. When the half cent was first passed, it was under Mayor Smith. I agreed with it then, and the reason I agreed with it is kind of half and half, which is a half cent. But the way that we get that half cent is that other communities, people traveling through North Little Rock, when they spend their money in North Little Rock, they help us with that 1 cent, half cent tax. If we do not approve this, the way politics works, we're going to see it one way or another. And it's either going to come on a water bill, electric bill, or some other means. So if it comes that other way, that means just the people of North Little Rock will be paying that half cent. Be smart to pass it to where everybody that spend money in North Little Rock help us with this half cent. And we can continue to get the improvements for North Little Rock. And I'm the type of person, everybody that know me know that I am for North Little Rock. I'm a game player for North Little Rock. And if I live in North Little Rock, I want people to speak good on North Little Rock. And that's all of North Little Rock. That's not just one area. Like I say, I got a neighbor that say all roads lead to the agenda area. All those roads need to look just like the agenda area. So people will want to come to North Little Rock to shop or visit or just on vacation. Now, I will say on that half cent, if things continue the way they are, I think we need to go forward with it. And we need to push hard for this to be passed. I know there's people out there that don't agree with it, but it's going to happen one way or the other. And this is just a way to get things done that we need done. And I'm looking for a new fire department, so.
I'm about to
I
tell
need-
you, okay, Stephen?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very, very much. The next one I've got here is Ira Buford. There you go. Thank you, Ira.
Good evening, Mayor
Thank you,
and the
sir.
council. My name is Ira Bluford, and I'm the president of Ashley Downs Property Owners Association. You know, Ashley Downs has been in existence since 2006. And right now, we're just on the first phase of that. And so far, we have 115 homes built. And so there's about 40 more homes to go in the first phase. Next year, they're beginning to start the second phase of that, okay? And I'm up here to speak on behalf of homeowners because out there, we need infrastructure. We need a new fire department, okay? And so we need everything that we can get out because we offer Colonel Maynard. It's what we offer up out there, okay? It's a great upcoming community. We love it out there. It's quiet. It's one of the best kept secrets around out there. We love it out there on Horseshoe Lake, you know? And so we're looking at the things that it can do, this 0.5% sales tax can do for our community in the future. One of the things that my neighbor there, Stephen Hart at Cypress Crossing, we're looking at what they're doing, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to make it beautiful and attractive for people to come out and families. We have a lot of people that have retired and moved back from Michigan, Chicago, Milwaukee up east and stuff that are coming in there, and it's making a great community right now. We had the Property Owners Association turn over to us last September, okay? And we're working hard to meet with people. We have a meeting scheduled this Sunday at 4 o'clock. And one of the things that we're gonna be pushing with our members out there and homeowners is that we vote for this 0.5% sales tax because we do need a fire department out there. We have one out there, but it was just taking a house. that Shirley had and turn it into a fire department, you know. And we like to see something like the one that was built from the money over in Levy. We see what's happening in Levy, and it's great. I love it. My wife and I, we come through that yesterday, and we're looking at what this 0.5% has done for Levy, okay? And so that's what we're looking for, what 0.5% can do for us out there in that area. Because with Cypress Crossing, and you're looking at Stone Link, you're looking at the other community out there, it's growing fast out there. When we look at the direction that North Little Rock can grow, that's the only way it can grow is south and east out that way. So we're looking forward to seeing this tax pass where we can have something to present to our people out there to make it attractive for us out there. And also looking forward to one of the days we can get a supermarket out there, okay? And I want to thank the committee for this opportunity just to come and speak before you. And I want to thank Maurice Taylor and Leonard Robinson, our wards, two out there. We thank you for the hard work that you've been doing, okay? And anything we can help do to push this forward, we're here to do it, okay? Thank you.
Thanks, Ira, appreciate it. Thank you very much. I know there's other people in the audience tonight. If I can show a show of hands of neighborhood associations, or maybe do this, I'd rather have you stand if you don't mind. So would y'all stand who represents neighborhood associations, please? Look at the people in all. And can I ask you one question? Is there anybody saying no to the 0.5 cent in your neighborhoods out there? If you're all of you back in the back there, you saying no? Yeah, I have people that say no. All right. Okay. I want to make sure you get both sides of it out there. Anybody else would like to speak? If not, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this and ask for a vote for the special 0.5 cent. Thank y'all for your time, and I do appreciate it, okay? Call it. Mr. Ross? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now, one of the things, and I know that when we, the first time when this was passed and everything, we had it earmarked, so much money for each, we had money for fire, we had money for police, and so, the residents, they knew exactly what they were going to get. And, what we proposed, I wish we'd just kind of go over what, is in this, what we're looking at and what we're wanting to do with the money. I mean, I wouldn't vote for anything if I didn't know what it was for.
Well, and I'm glad you asked that question. Ms. Ember, please come up here if you don't mind. I'm going to go over it real fast, but you can ask her some questions. I will say right off the bat, our central fire station, I want to build a new central fire station, move it over the viaduct into what we call Midtown. That fire station was built in 1960, if I'm not mistaken. Also, real fast, I'll get Ms. Ember to talk about, is I want to improve and redo all the community centers in all of our wards. Plus, I want to put a new community center in Ward 4. So with that, parks, and then the most important thing to me, again, is our streets, the drainage, and sidewalks. I'm a fond believer in sidewalks. So any other questions? But Ms. Ember, if you don't mind talking a little bit about the money that's going towards those?
Sure. So we've estimated over the 5 years of this capital tax that it will bring in approximately $45 million. And as Ms. Ross has stated, we did dedicate exactly how those funds would go, and we've done that this time as well. We just did not have to put that in that legislation just like we didn't last time, but we still have that same spreadsheet. So for fire department facility upgrades, we've set aside $15 million. For public safety vehicle and equipment upgrades, we've set aside $2 million. The last tax that we did the past 5 years, we really focused on police with the Justice Center. People can see that.
Ms. Ember, I want to, not only the central fire station, we have one on 165. I want to move a little further east, a brand new fire station out in that area there that Mr. Hart and Ira was talking about. So that is something we bought. I guess it's an old house we tried to updo. We can't even put our fire trucks in that. So that's one of the new fire stations that will be built in east part of our city. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just like last time, we've set aside $2.5 million for each ward. That will be for streets, drainage, and sidewalks. So each ward would get $500,000 over the 5 years for a total of $10 million for the 4 years, 4 wards over the 5 years. And in the Parks Department, for all of our community centers, we have 4 smaller community centers in our main community center on Pershing. Looking at things we can do there, $18 million, looking at possibly an aquatic center So that's a lot of improvements to do in the Parks Department. So that total comes to 45 million.
In the community centers for all of our wards, from Rose City all the way to North Heights, they were built in 1969 and 70. Some of them are barely AD accessible. Our showers, our saunas, the weight room, and you'll see it in the books. I didn't want to go through it, but the book shows some of these, how they are old and need to be redone. So that's what I want to do, and it has to go with the kids and young adults. Even all those basketball courts, you can't, they're old. So I want to try to do everything in this half penny for every ward in our city, community centers, fire stations, and again, streets, drains, and sidewalks. I think it's very important we continue what we've done. I had one question asked to me today: why call it now and have the election in August? There's a couple of reasons. I didn't want to get in the mix of all the other ones that are going on, but meanwhile, to meet the August deadline, that takes so much longer to hit our January 1st deadline to keep the half penny going. So it's a timing frame. I even had a call today, asked me what's cost to put on a special election. The difference between putting it on a special election compared to the general election is about $15,000. So I'll be up front on that. Meanwhile, I can see that this has been something that our last administration did. I can see the good things with Justice Building and all the fire stations. I can see what you aldermen and councilmen have done with the streets and the drainage. And, you know, we're about to start Park Hill Jump Start. We're about to do some things. I can tell you, I think Mary Beth, if she's here, we're about to start Faulkner Lake Road. I see Chris, he was talking to me earlier today. I know the people in the east end of our city are very excited about that. We've already got Amazon coming out there. We got Dollar General, so that's going to be a leeway to make people traveling from that part of our town back into central Arkansas. So I'm very proud about Faulkner Lake Road being something that it's going to be done right. In fact, the streets are going to be wider. It's going to be a dual purpose. So, any more questions? I'll be glad. Ms. Ross.
Well, I know one of the things.
Stay there, Ms. Amber, just in case.
When we were talking about, the communities, upgrading the community centers, and, our community centers they go way beyond just a place to go work out. There's a lot more to that. And when we were talking about, we have the warming centers and the cooling centers, for our unsheltered homeless at certain times. And that was one thing at the community centers that they don't have right now is, the capability that we could make it so much nicer too. And then, while people are there too, have showers, and I know
Right.
some have showers, but they're old locker room showers. They have showers, and then a prep kitchen too, because we have to feed, people are feeding individuals. And so there's so much more. It's not just community centers, but it goes beyond community centers, what we can do with that money.
It is, and you said it's much more, but I like what it is called, community centers.
Right,
And
great.
it's good. By the way, letting everybody in the audience know, that the Chamber of Commerce, I see Daryl out there, that we will be running the campaign through the Chamber this year, which was done last time with John and Joe. So they're already raising money for advertising and letting everybody in the city know what this is really about. So anybody else? Ms. Ross?
Well, one thing, Ward 4, I know that's always been anytime anything comes up, Ward 4 has nothing, parks or community centers or anything. So I would be thrilled if Ward 4 could have
Ward
community
4
centers.
is going to get their own community centers.
That's always been.
So, I know. I'm very excited about that too. So, anything else from anybody on here? Mr. Hamilton? Yes, sir.
Well, for my go to my Facebook page if you really want to see what I think about it. I wrote way too many words on it this weekend, but I just want to go on record on a couple things. And I was part of the mayor's office when we did this the first time. I went to 42 civic organizations and did presentations with Mayor Smith. I was a huge advocate for it then. And I want to go on record saying that I don't like sales taxes. I believe they are a regressive tax, and they hit the poor members of our community harder. And yet I am still for this because cities we can't raise, the property tax as much as we want just to do whatever we want on all these things. We can't pass an income tax. And we have very limited opportunities as a municipality on how we can increase revenue. So this, as Mr. Hart pointed out, is huge for me because I think 40% of this is paid by
38 to 40% is paid for.
38 to 40% of this sales tax will be paid by people outside of the city who won't see the benefit. They will be helping us basically pay the bill. And I like that. The second thing is that this is not an emergency. If this didn't pass, and we said this last time, if this doesn't pass, the city of North Little Rock will not be filing for bankruptcy. What this is an investment. This is thinking towards the future. This is a very smart thing to do. This is not, saving a penny right now and then paying for it later when we can't provide some of the services people want. And so this is a smart thing to do to keep us going. I looked it up. I did the research. Northwest Arkansas, everybody's like, they're growing, they're investing, they're doing all their stuff. Every city up there has a 2%. If we don't have this, we have a 1.5. If we do this, we stay in line with them. Benton, Bryant, everybody says everyone wants to go out there. Well, they're at 2.5 and 3%. So they're spending even more on their city than we are, or they're investing even more. So there's a couple things that I do have an issue in terms of it being a regressive tax, and it's not an emergency. It is absolutely the only way that we're going to be able to invest in our city for the future. And so that, I'm certainly in favor of it.
Anybody else?
I do.
Ms. Ross, wait a minute, go back to Ms. Ginn and come back. Ms. Ginn?
Ms. Strange, you said it would be about 45 million estimate. What was the last, for the future of 5 years, what was the past 5 years estimate?
I believe it was 42 million.
That's good.
So it was lower.
And I was thinking that, everything keeps going up and up, but we're not asking for any more sales tax than we did the past 5 years, right?
This is
It
a
didn't go up.
continuation of what is currently
It
in
was put in the
place.
paper as a tax hike. It's not. It's just a continuation of what we
Yeah.
got now.
Continuation.
It's just a continuation. The reason for the timing of the August 9th, as the mayor said, sales tax are collected 2 months in arrears. So when when the city receives the cash in February, that is for what citizens spend in December. So in order for the tax not to expire, for the city not to miss a month of the half-penny deposits, the August 9th deadline was when we needed to take it to the citizens.
Good. I agree with Mr. Hart, who said we want to continue with the improvements. And in the short time that I've been on the council, I have really seen an enormous amount of improvements with this tax money. And so I'm kind of looking forward to continuing with this improvement and not a hike.
Correct.
Ms. Ross?
Okay, just a quick question on this, and I don't know if we can ask on this one or the next one, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask it. So, we have the 15 million for fire, we have the, 18 million for parks, the different breakdowns. So and I know this is over a 5-year period too, it's not 15 million in 1 year. So when we get to like the parks expenditures, when we start doing things like that, will that come back to the council?
Yes, it'll come back to you. I
for
just
the
like I think,
approval?
I've got to
make
get.
sure that we know that.
Well, I have to do it this way. In fact, our city attorney said this is the best way to do it, but we'll bring everything back to you. But with the way prices are next day, I see a couple of builders out here in front of me, and it's hard to guarantee what the price today will be when we go forward. Take the community centers right now. I've assigned, Steve Shields, you there somewhere? Steve, did I see? Steve, you've already asked the community centers what they want to do with their money, correct? So when we get this passed, I take it back out to the community centers through the parks. What we projected could have changed a little bit. That's why I put it that way. Okay. Anybody else?
Let me finish one comment that I don't think's been said yet. The first time we passed this, you see what we've done. We have move North Little Rock forward for like police and justice and even drainage in our wards and everything. So we're not wasting this money. Let's do it one more time. Let's finish what we started and let's get this done because, guys, North Little Rock's a fabulous place to live and prosper. So I'm very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody else?
Mayor, just real quick.
Mr. Baxter, yes, sir.
Real quick, you know, in Ward 3, we've been able to leverage some CDBG funds in addition to our portion of the sales tax to, you know, complete several big projects. And a previous council member reached out to me and was asking me, you know, how did you get to spend all that money? And I'm like, well, it's not spending all that money. We've contributed each year to the project, right, until we got enough funds where we could complete it. But without that additional half a cent that was available to us, we would not have been able to complete the scope of that project in the shortest time we did. And that was even saving, you know, trying to save money, you know, throughout the course of that, you know, leading up to that project. $75,000 a year for ward money these days doesn't get you very much curb or sidewalk. So anyway, I'm just glad that we've had that.
You finished the part about how we fixed it and then they took it from us.
Yes, that's right. It'll now be in Ward
Another
1.
ward, yeah.
Yes, yes. And she says,
Everybody's still gonna get their $500,000. So, is there anything else? If not, where were we, please?
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt?
I made that motion.
Second.
And there was a second.
Outstanding.
We did.
Did he? Okay.
Okay. I
Thank you.
understand. Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Yen,
Yes,
Height.
Yes.
On the emergency?
This one,
No emergency, okay. Very good.
one more time.
Okay. O22-34,
Read it.
Move to suspend all readings on this one.
All right, thank you. It was long, it was long. Go ahead, is motion to suspend?
I read it first.
That's what I say, you gotta read it, I'm
was
pretty
gonna say,
sure.
I had to
Okay.
read it.
You gotta read it.
An ordinance calling a special election in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas on the question of levying a 0.5% local sales and use tax within the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, which shall only be levied until December 31st, 2027, and shall only be used to acquire, construct, repair, equip, or improve streets, sidewalks, and drainage structures and facilities for public safety departments, police, fire, and emergency services departments, and the Parks and Recreational Department, and for the acquisition of vehicles and/or equipment for public safety departments, first reading.
Now, motion
Suspend the readings?
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
and a second.
All right. Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Ginn,
yes,
Height.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So move.
First, Ms.
I'm seeing Ms. Ross now.
I
Go
have
ahead.
an amendment.
Yes, ma'am. You have
We
an
need to
amendment.
add, we need to add declaring an emergency and for other purposes on that. This one didn't have.
In the title. The emergency is in the body of it. I proofread this 30 times and realized that that wasn't in the title. So if we can amend the title.
And there's an
So
amendment.
moved
That's my
as.
amendment. So,
Second.
There's an amendment and there's a second. You got it? Okay.
Ross?
is this on the amendment?
Yes.
Yes.
Amendment.
I'm sorry. Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Ginn,
yes,
Height.
Yes.
Motion to adopt as amended.
Second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Ginn,
yes,
Height.
Yes.
I want to thank those people who attended tonight, the neighborhood services. You go above and beyond your call of duty. I've met with, I guess, in the last year, met with most all of you. I met with a new one this year. I thank you for your effort. I'll keep in touch with you. I am going to need your help, of course, and we can make this city, as I say, stay proud, stay better, and stay safe. So thank y'all very much. If you'd like to leave, we have only got one more thing. Yes, ma'am. All right, let me call that, but I want to tell them how proud I am. So call the roll of mercy, please. Thank you for keeping in line. Go ahead.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Now, if y'all would like to leave, you can. If you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. But I do thank all of you for coming so very, very much. I appreciate your involvement with our city, so thank you. If not, okay? Thank you again. Where are we right now? I think we're-
022-35, council members Ross and Hamilton.
Thanks, Steve.
Call it,
Thank you,
please.
Myra. Thank you, Michelle. Heather, Steve, appreciate you.
Thank y'all for coming.
Yes, thank
Hey,
you. Good
Angelica.
seeing you. Appreciate it. I hope so.
See you in 2 weeks.
I've met with most of them. It's amazing how much work they do individually to make things happen in their neighborhood. So, all right, I'm back. Where are we? 02235?
Yes, sir. An ordinance vacating and abandoning a certain unused easement on a property located at 4240 Stockton Drive.
Move
First
second
reading.
Second.
Motion suspended, second.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Motion to adopt?
To adopt.
Second.
Motion adopted, seconded.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And on the emergency? Good, okay. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O 22-36, Councilmember Harris?
Please call, and can you add Councilmember Baxter to that, please?
Yes, sir. An ordinance rezoning certain property located in White Oak Crossing, Phase 2, in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, from I2 to RU zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, first reading.
Move to suspend all readings, please.
Second.
Motion suspended, seconded.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
We have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Just a second. Go ahead, call the roll on it first.
Well, just a question. What is RU? That's a new one.
4,500 square foot.
I'm going to let Sean explain that. I kind of know, but he can explain it better.
It's urban residential, so it's for smaller lots, sort of like in downtown areas type things.
Oh, it's the lot size.
It's the lot size basically is a little smaller, and the building in the front of the house can be a little closer to the road.
How close can they get, Sean, on this? Because I've met with these guys out there, so
15 foot
15 foot
Yep,
all the way
instead
up
of
to the front.
25.
What about the lot lines side by side?
on the side. It would be
5 foot.
5 foot, yes,
Thank you.
on each side.
They're doing this and then adding 3 parks. I don't know, so you go
I
play
just never heard
soccer.
of RU before, so I just want to make myself much the wiser.
Just let me know.
Anything else?
Yes.
Stay there. You might as well stay there. See anything else? Where are we now? Call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
O 22-37, Councilmember Robinson?
Please call it.
Ma'am. An ordinance rezoning certain property located at 2700 River Road in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, from conservation to R4 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263. First reading.
Moves to suspend all readings.
Second.
Ross,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Height.
Yes,
Do we have a motion to adopt? Oh, have a
Height.
question.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if my voice will allow me, is the applicant here?
It is. Yes, they're asking
Yeah.
they're asking for the applicant. Yes, if
Or
you'd come
Sean,
forward,
you,
please.
how
I could try.
does this development affect the river trail in any way?
Really, you really need to ask him, but we really don't have a development yet. This is a rezoning. So they're asking to rezone the property, so we don't have a set development yet for the property. So right now, it's just a straight, they're asking to rezone to R4.
So it won't affect the river trail?
We don't have, there's not a plan yet to say yes or no to it.
So it's possible then that it could
I would think it would not,
interfere
but
with flow on the river trail, correct?
Coming back to you.
I mean,
We just spent
anything's possible.
$120,000 down there, didn't we, Steve Shields? Didn't we just spend $120,000 down there to connect the existing trail with the trail down by Rockwater? And now we're gonna put in a development down there that can block the whole thing, is that correct? Could possibly block it.
Well,
Oh, wait a minute, wait, slow down, everybody.
I don't want to speak for I doubt it's going to, but we don't have a plan that says yes or no. We're only at the rezoning part of it. So they're going to get it rezoned, and then they're going to come up with a plan of what they're wanting and come back through planning commission and possibly city council if we need to for a certain waiver or not.
So
But
you can't say one way, you can't say.
there's
for
not
sure.
a plan to say yes or no to yet.
Okay, Ms. Ross, Ms. Robinson.
I know there are some concerns regarding this being conservation, and that was over 20 years ago, but no one can produce me the report as to why they did not, they wanted to keep it conservation. 10 years ago, the city of North Little Rock paid for a study to be done along the river. And the results of that study said that multifamily. Now, that's the results of the study of money that the city of North Little Rock paid. And so what they're asking to do tonight is just in keeping with the study that we spent city money to have studied and reviewed. Now, let me say this. There are some people saying, if it's developed, we don't know what's all on the soil or what all is under that. Well, my goodness, this magnificent building that we're in, I'm told, is sitting on bales of cotton. So that was 100 years ago. And I'm saying today, engineering has progressed a whole lot in 100 years. And here we are sitting on bales of cotton, and truly, whatever the issues are down there or whatever the problems are down there, the engineers can figure it out and fix it where they can develop that property. And I'm for this because of the study that we paid for 10 years ago that said it could happen.
Okay. Mr. Taylor.
so where's the study? I mean, somebody has, if there's a study out there, somebody has to know where it is.
Yeah, we had the city, and it's probably the city clerk probably has it in their files. It was done by, I don't know, like she said, 10 years ago, but it was for downtown. It didn't really go up on River Road at that time. So the study focused on the downtown area.
You mean that master street plan we did,
Yeah, with the pictures and all the nice
Terrain
colors.
and all of that stuff we
Yeah,
did?
and the presentation, yeah.
well, I had a copy of that.
Yeah.
Well, now, I was told there was a
But
study.
she
that
was
we
saying
paid
about
for.
when it was rezoned to conservation years ago. What was the reason that city council had rezoned all the banks, river banks to conservation? And so that was
well-
before anybody around here knows about it.
So let me ask this question. So we're doing this rezoning. Typically, if you're gonna rezone something R4, then that's probably your intent, or with the possibility of having a more aggressive zoning classification, R1 residential, R4 allows for multifamily. Why the request for the R1 if the picture you have, I mean, R4, if the picture says that you want to do single-family residence, why don't you just ask for R1?
It's all on one lot, so it's duplexes that are going to be rented out, is one of the proposals.
So.
So
you
it's,
did-
it's not multifamily if all those units are on one piece of property.
What, say that again?
Wait a minute, go ahead. I'll come to Ms. Ross in a minute.
It's not, those are going to be individual. Again, we're not at that point yet, so what you're looking at is an early drawing of duplexes. Are they duplexes or? Yeah.
Let me go, you can come up, let me go to Ms. Ross, and I'll get you in just a sec. Come on up to the mic if you don't mind, but Ms. Ross,
That's what I wanted to see, if we could have the developer
you
come
can.
up and to ask questions as
Mr.
far as.
Baxter, you want to yield to the floor here for just a sec?
Just a second, sure.
Yes, if you'll identify yourself, please. You're up.
Doug Meyer, we're with Terraforma. Dave Brenning and myself are members of Terraforma, and of course, my wife. We recently completed the View, the 244-unit apartment complex right at the foot of the Broadway Bridge. It just got an award for the Central Arkansas Realtors Association Award of Excellence. So just want to let you know who we are and what we do. There was a question about changing the bike trail down there. I can tell you emphatically, no, that will not be changed. We will not touch that bike trail. There was another question about the Brownsfield, or not Brownsfield, but about the construction there. We just finished a phase 1 with Arkansas, Pulaski County Brownfields. Phase 1 passed, so now we're finishing up the phase 2. So the phase 2 basically is just saying we're going to do some fill, because with the city engineer, when we went through the planning commission, Norman Clifton also brought up the study that Ms. Robinson talked about. We would have to have finished floors 2 foot above the 100-year floodplain, so the flooding would not be an issue. My wife and I walked it yesterday or the day before, and the river's up pretty high right now, and it's not even on the bike path right now. So as far as, there seemed to be a little miscommunication, we want to do duplexes and fourplexes, very similar to what Salter did over here on Maple Street. When we finished the View, as fast as we could sweep out the floors, we were leasing those rooms. 244 units leased up in 90 days. That's the demand. And if you drive through the parking lot, I'll bet you half of the license plates there are not Arkansas. So it's drawn a lot of people in there. So you've got the View we just built. You've got the Esplanade down there that's doing multifamily. So we wanted to do something less intrusive, more family-oriented, friendly, which are duplexes and fourplexes. And I think Ms. Robinson has a picture of it, but they actually look kind of like a single-family home, but they're not high-rise apartments. All we'll do is duplexes and fourplexes.
Questions? Mr. Height?
I'll probably never ride a bike on the river trail again. My grandkids will, though. So I'm suggesting that we add an amendment to this legislation to what you just said. You said that we're not going to touch the river trail. I put a condition in here that I'll offer as an amendment that the developer will not touch the river trail.
Mr. Height, you can't do that on it. This is just zoning. It's straight up zoning on what the classification is and what the land use plan is, and it does not lend itself toward restrictions.
And it has to go through subdivision, it has to go back to planning,
Right.
it's got to come back through us. So
Right.
the river trail is protected.
Okay, so I offer that as an amendment. And if somebody can second it or die for the lack of a second, I'm offering it as an amendment anyway.
We can't do it.
If I may, I'm sorry.
Without, there's a motion on the floor of amendment, and I'm looking for a second. If not, I'll move forward, but hang on. All right, your amendment has died for lack of a second. Ms. Ross?
I just wanted to say I would happily second it if we could, but we can't amend
I know
this,
you can't.
so.
Yes, sir. You were wanting to say something else, please?
No.
Mr. Taylor?
So what's your name, sir?
Doug Meyer.
Mr. Myers, you know, your work, the things that you've already done shows that you do incredible work. I didn't know that you guys did those other developments. Fantastic. So I have no more questions. I think that your work speaks for who you are and what you're going to do. And when you just mentioned that you did those other projects, I am actually excited to see what happens here. So I'm ready to go.
Mr. Baxter?
Well, I'll share a little bit of Alderman Height's concern as it relates to the trail, but not so much on the trail itself. In the circles that I run with, pun intended, is that we don't run that portion of the trail. It's out of sight, right? You're closer to the river, which means you're closer to critters, particularly one particular reptile that I don't care for. So I'm actually, and the friends that I know, run up top. We have expanded, or are in the process of expanding the road on the southern side to allow for bikers, walkers, runners, skaters, whatever.
Safety.
What we are doing, though, is we're creating, based on what I'm looking at here, which is all I have, even though I know that this is not particularly what we're voting on, but I guess a rough draft, if you will, but I see 200 parking spots here. That's 200 additional cars up and down River Road. And one thing engineering doesn't fix, Ms. Robinson, is speeding vehicles. I can guarantee you that. I hear it all the time. So I would like to know if there's any type of ideas to mitigate some of the additional safety concerns that may now arise with the additional traffic up and down River Road. That's a question that I have.
So again, I think your concerns and his concerns will be addressed once it gets to subdivision and once it gets to planning. And then if we're not happy with what happens at those two levels, then we make our adjustments here at City Council. I mean, it's a rezone. So he's just asking for it to be rezoned so he has the opportunity to move forward with the project. Until he gets rezoned, he can't do anything.
Is that correct, Mr. Spencer? Yes, that's exactly correct. So is there any more questions? And if not, Ms. Ross?
I guess one thing that always concerns me, and I don't know what we do about this, is when we rezone a property and we're saying, yes, we love this, but once we rezone it, you can turn around and sell it to anybody. So it's not necessarily, and I know that we have to go with good faith that this is what's going to happen, but, terraforming, y'all sell land and trade back and all the time. So I know that there's no guarantee. So Sean, to you, when they do some kind of development, it just goes, you're not going to bring it back to us unless they have some exception, unless they ask for an exception to something.
Correct. Unless there's a waiver or there's something that's not going the right direction or something, we wouldn't be coming back to you.
So our only option would be go to the design review and bring up the, comments about the trail. And is that
Correct, yeah. So, we're aware of where the trail is and everything. And the drawing that they proposed, again, it's just a little concept, doesn't get close to the trail, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so.
They didn't show us what it's going to look like, so if they don't do it, somebody else will.
Mr. Hamilton, go ahead, sir.
I feel like I'm so inexperienced, I don't know how to turn on a mic, but does the trail actually, is it on their property?
I can answer that.
It's inside the property.
It is on our property, and the Joshua Ministries signed a easement grant to the city of North Little Rock, April '99, for that bike trail.
Do we have an easement for the trail?
You do,
But,
according to this.
So that means that they can't do anything to it.
yeah. Without our permission,
Coming
they
back to
can't do
city
anything to it. I was thinking to say, I was like, how come he owns the trail and can do something to it? He doesn't. He does, but we have an easement for it, so.
Mr. Wilburn, if you don't mind, please.
So just to help you, Charlie, the trail that we've got, it's got a 5-foot buffer, and it falls within our street right away. So they can't adjust what's in our street right away. So it'll stay.
Hang on, y'all, I'm gonna go this way and come back to you.
Okay.
Mr. Baxter?
But again,
Oh.
that part of the trail, I don't
thank
think
you.
is the issue. If you sit down there on a Saturday morning for any length of time, say at the skate park, watch what people do coming from the quarry, and they'll just keep going straight down River Road. They don't make that right down into there.
Mr. Taylor?
Well, I think your name slips me again. Doug. What's your last name?
Doug Meyer,
Mr. Myers, you're a developer, correct?
we are.
Yes.
I haven't met a developer yet that's gonna do something that's gonna be detrimental to their development. It's just not gonna happen. He's got this development already down here on the river. I mean, that thing is fantastic if you go down there and take a look at it. I mean, it's an easement, which already belongs to us. He can't do anything to it. And he's not gonna do anything to, he's probably gonna, if I was the developer, I would be using that trail to actually promote that community. And so I can rent those things out faster and get them gone.
It's a city-paid amenity for
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Exactly right.
Bravo.
And I might mention too that this, the city put this in the opportunity zone several years ago.
Several years ago.
And so this is an opportunity zone, so this is exactly what it was created for, was to spur development.
Is there any more questions from anybody? Where were we, Mr. Scott?
So,
So move.
we're just, yeah, we've already, first thing, we're just ready to take a vote.
Second.
There's a motion, and a second.
Same ones. Okay, Ross?
Yes?
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Yin?
Yes.
Height?
No.
Okay, on the emergency, Ross?
Yes?
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Yin?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
That concludes it.
Okay, because the mayor asked, I have to ask y'all if any more comments from any of you. Anything? I want to bring up, we have some upcoming events, the annual annual police memorial ceremony, that is going to be May 13th, if I'm not mistaken. Outdoor dining, outdoor dining, May 13th, 14th, downtown Regina. Becky Witcher Memorial Golf Tournament, May 14th, and the Pulaski County Fair is coming to, this is on May this time, not October, so it's happening, May 29th. I'm going to ask y'all's indulgence to Robert Birch just a second, please. You'll come to the microphone. I want you to tell our aldermen and council members about the health clinic. We did get a good, go ahead, please.
Okay, we did get the initial report back on the phase 2 that the ground is the same as what it was above, that they did the full test on. Everything is good to go. It's better than what we were expecting. So we are excited that we are going to close on that property on Friday.
Yes, Ms. Ross?
Can you just kind of tell everybody what this is? You said health. I mean, some people don't know what that is.
Well, go ahead and explain the health. The health clinics, if I may, on this.
You
one.
may.
The health clinic is something that we've been needing in that part of our city for a long time. I visited one in Lone Oak. I think you visited one in Little Rock. But we're actually going to be in a partnership with Baptist hospitals and to create a health clinic in that part of the city. There'll be approximately 19 to 20 bays in that area right now, where the land that we've been looking at is a clean phase 1, phase 2. Robert's going to be in charge of getting someone hired and looking at also how we build it, how we're going to look and everything. So I'm very excited about that, Ms. Ross, yes.
But we still didn't say what part of the city.
I
It is
didn't.
at the corner of,
I thought you knew. I'm sorry,
Oh,
160.
I do. This is
Okay,
for
well,
everyone else, though.
Okay,
It's-
my
I mean, you're
apologies.
talking
I didn't
about
hear what you
something
said.
vague.
It's on 160, it's when East Broadway makes 165.
There you go.
It's one of those things we've been looking at, so I didn't hear that part. So it's going to help the people that's been on the east end of our town. I was telling you real fast, when I was about 8 or 9, I got in a rock fight out there. and I got hit right there with a rock. Every time my heart would beat, it'd be like a pistol pulling a water pistol. And the only thing around there at that time was by Leon Hosted Drug, and they had a little person there that had a little clinic, but he actually, what was it called, stapled my head back together. I got to thinking about this during election time, and if that same thing had happened, so there's nobody out there to help these people. This is something that's going to be very, very good for our city and the east end of town. I'm very, very proud the health clinic's about to happen. I'm very proud of Robertson and Harper negotiations right now with Baptist on the lease agreement. So I wanted him to come up and tell y'all about that.
And I would like to make a point that our ability to purchase this product is coming from the properties that we have sold. So we are taking that money and reinvesting into other areas of the city to improve, all areas, not just we're selling buildings and keeping that money for other things. We're reinvesting that money back into our communities.
So again, I think we've sold probably since about the last year, about 1.9 million of property. So
Yes, sir.
this is how we pay for it. Anybody else? I want to brag on that a little bit, but yes, ma'am.
You might want to mention.
Oh, I was about to say, you're on. Yes, ma'am.
You might want to mention Councilmember Robinson.
I was going to
recognized
mention
for something.
you're about to have a nationwide
Actually, an international conference.
international conference.
We're expecting people from all 50 states and 11 countries.
Wow. And then the last thing I was going to say, we have a new doctor in the house. She got an honorary doctor from Charter College, so congratulations to you.
Dr. Robbins.
Yay. She's not going to work at the health clinic, though, I promise you. Anything else, anybody? All right, so moved. All right, agenda.
All right. Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton? Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter? Harris? Yen? Height.
Good meeting, everybody. Thank y'all.